Welcome back to The Heartbeat, Season 2, Episode 1. This time around, we're going to do things a little bit differently. It's not going to just only always be me and Eli. We're going to invite guests on, musical guests. And today, we have the lovely Katie Blvd.
Hello.
All right. So, I met you through Eli, so I don't know a lot about you, which is going to be great for the purposes of this podcast.
Sure.
You get to tell everybody about what's going on in Katie Blvd's world. Let me know. You're an MC.
Yes.
Nice. How long have you been writing?
Writing for a minute now. I mean, I was a young kid with too many thoughts and emotions, and I wrote a lot of poetry to try to get those things out, and so I have a big stack just full of poems that I would write, and eventually started to kind of like connect the two once I found hip-hop, you know.
Yes, I used to always be like, you know, when my grandparents ask me, what the hell, what is this, what do you do? I'm like, it's like poetry.
Right.
It's poetry to music.
Exactly.
And that's it.
I feel like it started with poetry, and we've kind of gotten away from like poetry slams and stuff, but I think it's like a really cool way to write, and it's rooted in that. You know what I mean?
I think those worlds have kind of separated themselves a little bit, but like they're gonna come back together eventually. They're starting to.
I think like really writing and emceeing is we're here again. It's cool. We said it like 5 years ago, and I think we've arrived back to where I think it should be.
Yeah.
Well, that's awesome. Okay, so you love writing. Same. That's why I got involved. Really, I liked writing lyrics. Not more than music, but that was like my involvement was on this microphone and behind a pen. So, you have a project out?
I have a few projects out. Still trying to get into the like groove of releasing music. But I do have like a single out on all streaming platforms.
Nice.
And then besides that, I have a lot of stuff on Bandcamp and SoundCloud.
Well, what's the name of the single?
The single is called For Now So Long.
For Now So Long? Mm-hmm. Awesome. That's cool.
Yep.
Uh-huh.
I call it a mini single because it's short and sweet.
Nice.
And I was going to release a bunch of mini singles, but I still been sitting on them.
Cool.
But then besides that, I have like 2 beat tapes, actually really 3 beat tapes out, and then an album or a mixtape that I put out a couple of years back.
I'm going to check you out today.
Please.
What about production? Instrumentals. Do you make your own beats?
Yes, I do make my own beats.
Awesome. Mm-hmm. Nice. Tell me how you like to. I always like. I mean, we invited other rappers and MCs on the show before. So, I mean, what is, and everybody comes at it differently. Do you like to write first, or do you like to listen to instrumentals and be like, oh, I know what this instrumental is about? What's your process? What's your creative process like?
Yeah. I mean, it's a mix. I would say, like, most of the time, I'm just always writing in the same sense of poetry. Like, if I have an idea or, like, a line comes into my head, I'll just, like, write it in my notes or, like, write it in a little notebook real quick. That's usually how it starts. 9 times out of 10, that's how it starts. Yeah. And then, like, I'll just be making beats for myself for fun. And then I'll be like, oh, that goes... Oh, can I curse, by the way?
Of course.
Oh, shit.
Fuck yes.
That goes with... I'm like, oh, shit. That goes with this, you know, and it just kind of connects, you know, and it's like those things kind of like marry each other really naturally.
So you said really writing. You were a lot younger than me. You really with pen and paper?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I prefer that a little bit more than the phone, but like if I need to be quick with it,
you grab your phone
grab
and
my
your
phone.
notes.
Yeah.
You know what's so funny about that? I nowadays force myself to write with a pen and a pad because I feel like it's different. But yeah, I mean, if in my notes right now, if you type in extra bars, like hundreds of whether they're good or not, rhymes will come up. So that's cool. That's cool that you're like really old school writing.
I find it interesting, like people writing first versus hearing the music first, or like finding like the melodies or like what comes to you, because you know I tend to lean into the music first, but you have to marry the two. Like when the beat aligns, you're like, oh, I want to use this bar, but maybe this isn't the right track for it, right? And you have to save that or like make it cohesive. Do you find that process to be challenging, or like will you just throw your poetry over any kind of beat, or like?
No. I mean, like, finding something that fits it isn't always straightforward. Like, I know there's plenty of stuff that's just sitting in my phone right now that hasn't found the right place.
Awesome.
And sometimes it happens the other way too. There are definitely times where I'll, like, mostly my songs, like my songs that aren't like as much like rapping, or they're like a little less in the hip hop era. Like,
so do you sing?
I do sing.
Awesome.
So like those types of songs, I think I'll come up with the melody first, and then like build a song around the melody, or like create a chorus that builds off of the melody or something like that.
That's fun.
So it depends. It kind of goes both ways.
So what are some of your biggest influences, I guess?
Like artist-wise, or just generally, like?
I mean, sure, like could be across the board. I was thinking artist, but
yeah.
Because you obviously have your own style. You know what I mean? But
Definitely.
I think we all draw from, an array of influences. So
for sure. I always say Mos Def is my favorite everything.
Oh, amazing.
He's like, really big number one for me, especially in his rap style, flow, like, and just kind of subject matter.
I
like,
was just listening to Black Star the other day.
Yeah. I have my tattoo on my arm says Black on Both Sides.
Oh, love it.
I got it on the 20th anniversary of the album because I'm a super Stan fan. But yeah, I really, really love Mos Def. I just feel like sonically, he kind of encapsulates so much of what I'm inspired by, like especially hip hop wise.
Yeah.
Like a lot of the Large Professor beats and like those type of like that sound is really like just soulful hip hop vibes, but like still talking about something meaningful.
For sure.
And then
so
like
nice.
For guitar and like vocals and that type of stuff, it's definitely like Leon LaHavis is a big inspiration. Brittany Howard and like Alabama Shakes, like those type of energies kind of come together and mix together to make
that's a cool fusion. I'm sure that's a cool fusion.
Yeah,
I love Mos Def too. I think he's underrated. Very, very talented writer, MC.
Yeah. Still underrated somehow. I mean, how?
I don't know. He's so nice.
I like the Mad Villain stuff with MF Doom.
Yeah, for sure.
You heard Traveling Man?
Yes, I love that song. That's a great track.
And I always thought, remember Dave Chappelle used to have guests on?
Yeah.
There's that one verse that he actually put on a song. I can't think of the song right now, but he recorded it in the studio.
Yeah.
And it was hot, but if you go to YouTube and look up Mos Def and Dave Chappelle. Is it the one
who's in the car? Like,
he's in the car.
Yeah, he's in the freestyle.
Yeah. They just like
that verse.
I have that video saved. Like, I'm trying to tell you, I'm a stan.
I remember being at home with my boys and we were like,
just like mania
just
for it to be so like seamless, and he's just in the car, just like talking, got the little fedora hat on, like
very
just
swaggy.
like very hip hop.
Yeah.
With a suit on type shit. Like I love it.
I love it.
Yeah, talk about poetry though. Like, I mean, the way he spits to me.
Yeah,
is like
and Doom too. Doom is like huge on the poetry tip. Like, I think people might not look at him that way, but Doom is a big inspiration for me too, because of the way he doesn't really fit in necessarily a pocket or like.
Well, his sonics too. We talk about like that whole style of production being like pushing rhythmically, sonically, just like outside the box.
Yeah,
which to me like stands out.
For sure. Yeah, it definitely like creates its own platform. Like, I think about that song. I think it's called Tick Tick, and they like change the tempo. They go bring the tempo up and down, and they're both rapping. It's him and somebody else. It's Doom and somebody else. I can't remember who's featured, but they're just both rapping with the beat as it changes tempo up and down and up and down. I'm like, you don't really see a lot of like hip hop tracks doing stuff like that. It really leans into kind of like blending into the jazz side and like just kind of melding different vibes together.
I do love me some Mos Def.
Yeah.
Reminds me of like Kanye, 2 words.
Yeah.
Just really nice.
Right.
Well, where are you from?
I'm from Raleigh originally.
Nice.
Yeah.
Awesome. North Carolina. Represent.
Yeah, definitely a North Carolina girl.
And you went to high school in Raleigh? Where at?
I went to Enloe High School.
Shout out.
Yeah. Shout out to Butler Knowles and Tyler Monroe and all the talented artists that have come out of Enloe. Apparently there's a lot. I didn't realize until more recently.
Did you go to UNCG too?
No, I went to A&T.
Oh, you went to the T. Shout out A&T.
Yeah.
There's a plethora of talent here, for real.
Around here, there's a ton of artists.
So you said you play guitar, but what else other instruments do you play, or is it just guitar?
I play keys too. I grew up playing piano first, and then I taught myself how to play guitar as I got older.
Nice.
And I used to play violin as well. But, you know, I don't know. I haven't really picked that up in a long time. I still have it, though.
Dope. I always think it's really cool as someone who, like, you know, I take a lot of pride in my writing skills.
Yeah.
Like, props to all of y'all who actually can play a musical instrument well and read music, read notes. I mean, it's I just think it just adds a whole layer of something extra that you can offer your own sound.
Yeah.
It's cool.
So, what are some of your goals, I guess, this year coming up? I just saw you perform, which was awesome, but are you trying to put out more music? Are you trying to perform more?
Yeah.
Because I've been, you know, kind of seeing you do this for a while, so it's cool to see artists just build, you know, but I think it's important to have goals, so I'm just curious where you see yourself, like, trying to go.
Yeah. I think I'm still trying to figure out what that looks like, to be honest. I mean, I've been performing a lot, and that seems to come really naturally for me. And, like, I know whatever you invest the most in is what you get the most fruit out of. And I think I've been investing the most in my performance.
Awesome.
But I know also I need to dedicate a little bit further to releasing my music, because a lot of the songs you hear me play, you can't go and find just yet, which is, I mean, it builds the appeal, and I see people are, like, excited for that to happen. But I think in this next phase of, like, me approaching music, I really want to try to cultivate more relationships with getting out of, like, my immediate space. So I've been, like, trying to perform outside of Greensboro more often, just travel a little bit more to perform, and then also recording. So I have an album that I've been sitting on for a very long time, and I really want to get that album out and together, and I want to get music videos done for it and have, like, some physical copies, and I would love to do vinyl releases.
Holler at HOTC.
You know,
that's your boy right there.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's do it. So is the album recorded?
Mostly. I really need to get it mixed, and I might need to re-record a couple of pieces to it, so...
According to what you just said to Eli, like, are you performing songs that have not been previously recorded in the studio?
Oh, yeah. Yes.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, there are a handful of songs that have never been recorded that I'm
cool.
performing pretty often.
So then somebody should at least be recording you performing those performances, so then you can release those performances.
Yeah, I know. I'm really hoping that I can get up with the Flatiron over there, and
it's a cool space.
Yeah, I'm
Shout
sure.
to them too.
Yeah, it's interesting. You know, we always talk about the what comes first, like, you know, whether you try and get the videos out first, you put the album out first, or how that works together to basically build you up to a place where obviously you want people to hear your music. So I find that interesting, like the strategy for different artists. And I know it can be difficult to put out music and get to a point where you're happy with it.
Yeah.
But I feel like I just encourage people to, like, get it out, because, like, I'm a fan, and, you know, we want, you know, to have fans listening to this who are like, yo, at the end of the day, we want to hear your music, and everyone does,
and they should have access.
Right. You know what I mean? So it's just it's hard for artists to put out music.
Yeah.
I have the same issue.
And I'm not a, like, strategy type artist. Like, I feel like I'm just an artist type artist. Like, I just make
and
music.
I respect that you have an album you want to put out.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. I mean, and I've done the due diligence. Like, I put a mixtape out. I've put some stuff out. Like, I've done it before, but
I totally understand that, because it's like, you know, there's the artist in you wants to create the art.
Yeah.
And then, like, you know, taking it to sell it or show it or even share it is like a whole nother lane.
Right.
It's a whole nother thinking mode. It's like, okay, now I got to release it.
It's true.
I like making it. It's like painters want to paint, right? But do they want to own an art studio? Maybe not.
There you go. Like, that's a kind of like a little bit of a wall that I hit too. And I've always hit that wall where it's like, you know, I love making the art. I love creating the art. But when it comes to sharing it, sometimes I can get a little bit in my head about the perception, or like, you know, I love performance. You know, I love performance. That's one of my favorite aspects of art.
This kind of happened to me. Is like, do you feel as if that when you started to perform songs that you might have, you know, written in your room by yourself or at home by yourself, as you started to perform, do you think it changed you know, like I feel like it changed. Like for me, when you know, it's one thing to write a song and then record it and just have it in the studio version, but then like you perform certain songs, you get an idea of what the crowd likes and what they don't like. Do you feel that changed your craft?
A little bit.
Yeah.
I think that like there is a little bit of a skill behind like knowing what the people want and like figuring out how to like move your crowd, like
yet still writing for you.
Exactly. And I'm like trying to find that happy medium now a little bit, because like I'm a sad girl, right? Like I have a lot of sad girl songs, you know, and then I do certain shows and the energy needs to be more upbeat. And I have to figure out how to curate my sound to be in a space that
without making everyone sad,
without bumming everybody out, you know, like ultimately, you know, like
but I feel like it's cool to lean into your energy, and like I think part of this podcast can be talking about the anxieties of being an artist and trying to perform. And I know we've had talks about this, like trying to figure it out and not compare and just be authentic to you, and like so. I just find it interesting, like how, you know, you cope with that anxiety, or how you maybe music's your outlet, and trying to manage being a source of like comfort and also trying to make a living, or like maybe even some things you've gone through that's put like fueled the fire. If you want to open up about any of that, or
I mean, I got a lot of. I mean, my life is definitely a little chaotic, you know, and like. I deal with a lot of interesting things personally. Like I made a little joke at Shikori the other day because people would compliment me, which was nice. Don't get me wrong. Like there weren't a lot of girls at Shikori Hills that looked like me. But at the same time, I would be like, pretty girls get played too, you know, like at the end of the day, like, and life happens and things go down. And I like to take those opportunities to, you know, talk about things that maybe other people don't get the chance to, or like they don't feel like I don't know. I think a lot of people get caught up in perception and wanting to be perceived a certain way and not wanting to talk about negative things that maybe put them in a negative light.
Right.
Or talk about things that aren't like, I don't know, flexing or favorable.
Right.
And like I
being
think
real, being vulnerable.
I pride myself in my vulnerability and like being upfront about the things that I experience.
There's an interesting parallel that can happen when you start sharing your music and it's almost as if like your artist image versus you.
Yeah, exactly.
Can start to happen.
And what you want to share and what you choose not to share.
What's too personal, what's not too personal.
Because I think people do gravitate towards vulnerability. They want to, you know, we have a responsibility as artists to bring people in to help them what they're going through. Yeah. So that in a way is like fuel. If you can translate how you're feeling, people will relate to it.
Yeah,
right?
For sure.
But like you also, like you said, you want people to like enjoy
and have a good time too.
Yeah. That's you know what though, that could be like a matter of how you choose your track list.
Exactly.
Like okay, I hit him with two kind of serious, maybe quote unquote sad songs. Yeah. Now let me do this one that's a little up, and then maybe I'll come back to another sad joint afterwards. Yeah. You know.
And the sad joints, like I'll tell you too, the sad joints aren't like super sad. Like they'll still be vibey and they'll still have a good like groove to them. So you could get lost in them in that way, you know, and try to make it like that. Or I'll make a sad song that sounds happy, you know, that has a upbeat vibe, but maybe it's about something heavier.
When you listen to the lyrics, it's like, oh wait a minute.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So you like R&B too? I mean, we talked about like neo soul the other day. You played, you sang "Feel Like Making Love."
Yeah.
Roberta Flack, right? Mm-hmm. So what drew you towards that song? Do you like to perform that?
No, I've never played that song before.
Oh, for real?
No. Honestly, what was going through my mind in that moment, there was a lot going through my mind in that moment. I was like, I had been hovering, you know, and like your brother Sam had played the night before.
Wait, hold on. Let me just give y'all context. So we just, we performed at this festival past weekend called Shikori Hills.
Nice.
And they do a big like jam and they bring up artists at the end of the festival.
Cool.
So Katie went up there, and anyways, that's what we're talking to. So you guys have context.
Yep.
Yes. So yeah, like the night before, I had seen y'all do the set on the Grove stage, and I was just like, damn, the hip hop vibes were there. There was y'all had to do scratching on stage. I was like, ooh man, I'm itching. The music is like really, you know. And then the next night, I knew it was a jam session, but somebody told me you had to sign up. There was just a lot of like things that were happening, and I was like, I don't know how I'm gonna get up there, but I'm gonna find a way.
Awesome.
So like ended up walking around the backstage, and I had my performer thing on, so I feel like nobody was questioning. And it's Shakori, so nobody's about to like, you know, like move, you know.
Right.
They don't really trip like that.
Yeah.
But so I kind of just leaned into the stage a little bit, and I saw Donna from Donna and the Buffalo, and I just walked up to her and was like, hey, can I like, I'm Katie, I played yesterday, can I play with y'all? Is that cool? And she just kind of shrugged and was like, go ahead. I hope everything's cool. I hope it was cool after. But I don't know. I think that song popped in my head because I knew it would be, I love the song. It's a jam type of energy. Like it's got a simplistic but repetitive but also iconic like word structure. So I knew I could do a lot with that phrase, that like kind of repetitive phrase. And then I also was like, I know everybody in the band is probably gonna know this track. Like I know, like I'm looking at everybody, I'm like, yeah, y'all know this song. I know y'all know this song. I was running through the little Rolodex in my mind of songs that I could have done that I felt like the band would already know. And that was kind of just the first thing that came to my head.
Yeah, no, it was awesome.
Yeah.
I wonder if there's some videos circulating, or
I hope so, because I haven't seen it.
But I would just ask, like, do you feel like you learned anything from that performance, or you would do anything differently, or like, for me, I find that like experience is just the best way to learn.
Yeah.
And it's hard sometimes because we compare ourselves to other people who maybe have a ton of experience.
Yeah.
And even though like I know I failed a lot in like going to jam sessions or going to perform, and you're like, man, I could have done this. So like every one of those opportunities you get to learn. So I'm just curious how you were feeling, or like what you took away from that.
No, definitely. I think, you know, I could have been a little bit better with my person to person. You know, like I know it's all about connections and who you know, and I didn't get to meet Donna from Donna and the Buffalo before that experience. So she was kind of like, who are you?
Yeah, but I
like,
commend you for going for it.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
You know, I knew it was something that if I didn't step, it would not have happened.
That's so cool though. When you're in that type of environment and you start to feel inspired, you start to feel so inspired that you're like, oh, I want to be on the stage.
Yeah. No, I was like, I just
somebody
didn't
pass me the mic.
I didn't want it to be like Lil Mama, you know what I'm saying? Like, I didn't want somebody to be like, no, don't, you know, like, because I don't know, like, I was.
Old school Kane pulls you off,
right,
pulls you by the off stage, like,
this
what
was
is
not
she
your
doing
time,
up there?
fam. Come on, what are you doing?
I actually have a funny story because I performed, you know, I'm like friends with all of them.
Yeah.
And I went, there was like a lore in the music, or you know,
a lull. Okay.
Yeah, thank you. So there's a lull in the music, and I was like, yo, like I'm gonna go play the bass, and I like picked it up, and the guy just shook his head, and it was just funny. Like it was funny. I was like, okay. And then we were like communicating across the stage, and I was like, yo, you know what? One day we're gonna play together, and you're gonna realize that I can play bass.
Yeah.
And it's gonna be dope, but like it's not
But
gonna
in that
happen right
moment,
now.
like, oh, see.
Wait, who shook his head?
So
the basses.
No. Just a member of the band. So like they're leading the jam, whatever.
Right.
Like I understand because I'm in that situation too.
Yeah,
and you're
yeah.
like, I don't know.
Is it
but
the right
it was just
time?
funny because it was like,
It's
just like our relationship. I already know the guy. Like he knows I'm a good musician.
Yeah.
So it was just like funny to be like, just to
be waving.
They were laughing and like shouting
Yeah,
off the
no.
stage. But
Like, it's kind of interesting. It's a really interesting place to sit. Like a weird, like kind of like, you don't really know. Because like the night before, like.
I was like, next time I'm going to get you though. I'm going to get y'all back. Like I'm gonna get it next time.
It's gotta be one of those things, like they see you stepping a little bit, they see you like dipping a toe, you know, so that at least kind of like the next time they know that you're already like
Katie, you're gonna
in
have
that
to forgive me
headspace.
because I might maybe enjoy Eli getting shut down on stage more than the rest of our audience. Oh only because of our podcast relationship.
I feel you.
It's a good thing I wasn't there.
No,
I
it was
would have
funny.
started a whole everyone
Cracking.
laughing.
Yeah, it was like a part of the. This was like at the end of the night too, and like a part like this is the main stage, right? So there's a bunch of people, but like a corner of the stage like cheered when I grabbed the bass. They're like, oh shit, like,
shit,
you know what I mean?
yeah.
And like people saw me, and it was like a whole like interaction.
They were like,
So it was like,
No. I mean, it was cool. Like everyone knows me as a sax player, but
Yeah.
I just like to
well,
groove.
you were there. Tell me how Katie Blvd was perceived. It must have been dope when.
Well, I was like
I'm sure of it.
I was like in the woods, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
and I heard like, cause I wanted to hear her. It's been a long time since I heard Katie perform, so
Awesome.
I kind of heard it and walked towards it, and it was cool. There was some really cool moments, and
Awesome.
it was nice to see you up there. Yeah, so I think we should just move towards like maybe like what do you want to leave people with, or if you have any shows coming up that would be cool.
Yeah.
You said, wait, do you have something coming up at the Flatiron or
no, not
not yet?
Not yet.
Okay.
Ish.
Right.
I have a friend that's performing at the Flatiron next Friday, and I might go and play with him.
Cool.
He goes by G Santana. He's a rapper.
Awesome.
That'll be on the 18th.
I know G Santana.
Okay.
Yeah.
Shout out.
Besides that, I have shows and Beats Batch has shows. So
Nice.
my shows the next thing that I have is probably at the Brewer's Kettle.
Okay.
I'll be playing there with Molly McGinn and Quilla from the Queen Bees. Just kind of like singer-songwriter type vibes, guitar and me, like at a brewery, outside, that type of vibe. Get a beer, bring your dog, have your kids run around, that type of energy.
Cool. Eli, we gotta check this out.
Yeah. And then right after that, so it's 2 in 1 day. So right after that, I will be driving back to Greensboro for a Halloween house party. Like UNCG students, that kind of grouping of people at this my homegirl Sophie's house. It'll be Bedroomer, Royal Jelly, and me.
Royal Jelly is Jordan.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Shout to 2J.
Yeah, those are my guys. That's
Yeah.
what's up.
That's cool.
I saw. Are you doing like a singer-songwriter thing with Ashley, Virginia? Or I saw you guys performing at Odin recently. Is that true?
I have done a few with her at Odin. I don't think we don't have anything coming up, I would say, but I've done that a few times with her over there.
Cool.
Yeah.
So do you have all of your songs for your LP? Like you already know which songs you're definitely going to record and release, or you give or take some new ideas, or is there any room?
I've been kind of moving the track list around a little bit as new songs have been coming in.
Yep.
I kind of like my sound has changed a little bit since that album started. So I'm kind of like adding the new songs in that fit in with that sound, but I still want to keep it relatively short. So right now we're at like 14 songs.
I like that.
But still want it to be a body, like a project, that type of thing.
So if someone comes to see you, what can they expect? Like, are you playing guitar? Do you have a band? Are you bringing your, like, because I've seen you, like,
singing,
because you make beats too, right?
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
like, I mean, obviously you have the SP404, which we should get into in a minute, but,
For
like,
sure.
I'm just curious, like, what these shows look like for the audience.
Well, I think one of the best things about me is that it depends. You're probably going to get a different thing every time. It super depends on the type of event. And like, sometimes people will ask me to come out and literally just do hip hop things. Like, especially when I go out to Winston-Salem, those are typically like hip hop shows and they just want me to rap. They just want me to play beats.
Tracks.
Right.
With tracks,
Yeah.
exactly. But then there'll be times where I'll play my tracks, I'll play guitar over my tracks, I'll sing.
That's cool.
But if you're asking for me full-fledged, you'll probably get guitar at the start, a mix of guitar and beats, and then beat heavy, and you'll get a good mix of everything there. And I'm just starting to get into the round of like playing with the full band. So now I'm trying to figure out how to incorporate my beats into my full band. So like my set at Shikori, my last couple tracks, I played stuff on my 404 with the band and did like kind of like a live looping situation while the drums and the bass and everybody played with me.
Makes me think of old school Lauryn Hill.
Yeah, I get that. I get that a lot.
Yeah?
I definitely get that a lot.
That's a huge compliment. If you
Yeah,
do.
I'll
That's
take it.
cool. Yeah.
I'll take it.
I can't even wait to hear your stuff.
We have you set up here, so are you down to like do a little performance?
Yeah.
for our
play
listeners?
a couple
Let's
of,
do
couple
it.
of things. Yeah.
We're ready to roll.
Cool. No, we're gonna roll through, but if you wanna get like a vertical shot
with the phone.
Yeah.
So when you're recording your LP,
you
gotta promise me you'll come do a track with me and Eli.
That's no problem.
Let Eli make an instrumental.
No, she already knows. She's been waiting for the right timing, but we're gonna get one soon.
I don't know that you need an old man, an old Greek man rap feature. I just want to be.
Oh, she does.
I just want to be at the.
El Grecko is.
I was about to say. I mean, you said that you rap, and I was already like, okay, so when is it happening? All right, like.
Yeah, nah, he's.
Say the word.
I'm trying to re-release some new stuff that I've been
El
sitting
Grecko.
on for
Katie Blvd.
a long time.
Bobby Sasquatch.
Come on now. When's the record dropping?
Yeah. That's some shit.
We gotta do a boom bap. If you said you like Mos Def and I do too, then we're gonna let Eli make us a boom bap.
No, not even boom bap. Just something like soul boom. Yeah.
There you go.
Okay, boom bap. Fine. Boom bap got like
with a cool
bad rep
now. Like an old school sample.
We're just gonna make something good. How about that?
I'm cool with that.
Let's shut up so Katie can do her thing.
Oh yeah.
It's all good.
Boulevard.
See, I don't chop no more. I just been making loops. I've been a little crazy lately, just to tell you the truth. And tying knots up in my locks to keep from falling loose. Staying up too late and drinking too much juice. Like, ooh, 1, 2 more days till the check come through. I count the ways that I change my mood. And ooh, yes, you can keep from running from the blues. Keeping up with the way life moves. Cause it goes on and on and on and on and on and on. On and on and on and on and on and on. No more, now I've been stocking up. I've been a little crazy, burning out my effort, giving fucks and burrowing sorrow in the haze. Like, hey, what's up? Praying, take me to my next phase. I need to glow up. Like, will I pay my bills with ease when I'm 30? Will they not deny my steeds while I'm working? And will the credit fall on me? Will I feel the truth? I count my pennies till the rent is due. And it goes on and on and on and on, and life goes on. On and on and on and on, and we go on like you. How we do. Life for truth, freedom and life. See, it goes on and on and on and on and on and on. On and on and on and on and on and on. On and on and on and on and on and on. On and on and on and on, and we go on like you. Yeah. How we do. Fight for you. Freedom and life. See, it goes on and on and on and on and on and on. On and on and on and on and on and on.
Yes.
Oh, you gotta
sick.
dap me up. Yeah, right?
So
Like,
sick.
I immediately want to dap. I want daps. That was fire.
Thank you.
I just funk flex this thing to drop bombs onto it.
So sick.
That was really dope. I
Yeah, I
really
love
enjoyed that.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
awesome.
I love your
you,
voice.
guys.
It's so it's so low and warm and
Thank
awesome.
you.
Yeah.
Alto
It's
gang.
funny that
Alto
I said
gang.
old school Lauryn Hill, but it really does remind me of that's kind of like you're doing, you're coming like for multiple lanes, or you're filling you're checking several hip hop boxes. Let's
Oh,
call
thank
it.
you,
That's
thank
fire. I really
you.
enjoyed that.
No, for
So
real.
did you build that beat?
Yeah.
I love the percussion. And by the way, it's so cool that you're using a 404.
Thank you.
And chopping everything, it's like so old school and like, yeah.
I had to work my way up to this. I promise you that.
Yeah, no,
thank you.
It's really cool because most people are not able to do both things, like produce and be in the box and like actually chop and screw, and like it's very
performing.
unique.
It's left and right brain.
Yeah, so you recorded there's vocals on the track too.
Yes, yeah.
How did you do that?
I did that. So a lot of those, like, I will build the beat in the 404 and then I'll take it over to a DAW to like mix it and get it right or whatever. And then if I do want to add vocals, I could do that on here, but sometimes I'll do that on the DAW just to set up my little background vocals and then re-import it back on this so that I can use this in a live setting when I play my tracks.
Very cool. And what DAW do you use?
I use Logic.
Okay.
Yeah. Only because I was a GarageBand girl. And then,
Logic's great. Shout out our Logic producers.
Yeah, man.
That was fire. I think now everybody wants to find out more. We're gonna be searching for Katie Blvd now for sure.
Oh, dope, man.
Yeah, that song's not out, is it?
No, it's not.
Do you have a release plan?
I do. I think I might put that one on the newest album.
Cool.
I perform that one a lot. I usually close out shows with it.
Look, Bobby Sasquatch trying to be your new manager.
Come on now. I need one. Look, I do need a manager. Hey.
No, I like the hook too, and then
thank you.
Yeah, the verses really cool, really
awesome.
sick.
Appreciate that, man.
Thank you so much for coming today and blessing us with your music and letting everybody know about your projects. I personally am looking forward to finding out more about your music, and I hope that our audience is as well. You are always welcome back to the Heartbeat.
All right.
And like I said, I hope you come record some of that stuff.
I was gonna say.
Grecko and
Sasquatch.
we
are in a studio here.
Yeah.
So,
if I wasn't doing anything else today, I would be like, all right, what's going on?
You got to get back to work.
This is our selfless HOTC plug.
Come on now.
There it is. So keep an eye out for Katie's new music, and thanks again for being here. You're our first guest on this season, so look forward to.
We're supposed to say like and subscribe.
Like and subscribe. Yeah, like and subscribe on the video below. Every week we're gonna bring in a new guest, but if you enjoy this podcast, maybe we'll have Katie come back in a little bit and see, if there's any new developments with your career and stuff like that.
At the end of the season, you'll come back and do another joint for us.
Exactly.
For sure. I would love to.
All right.
Plenty of joints to do.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for coming today.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
We were wrapped for S2E1.
That's it.
Wrap.
All right. I'm honored to be y'all's first guest.
Yeah.
Wait, we do an honorary fist. You got to fist bump both of us at
the same time.
Yeah.
The double fist bump.
All right.